One of the truly great features of the VertiMax V8 system is the ability to apply a load to the hands when you're jump training to improve the power in this shoulder area and improve arm swing velocity and thus the vertical lift component for a better vertical jump. Prior to attempting that, we suggest that any athlete have 4 or 5 training sessions at a minimum with the waist loading only, and that they've mastered vertical jump training on the VertiMax using proper form and technique and rhythm with just a waist load. Once they've mastered that and they've got strong jumping mechanics, they can look at applying additional load to the hands as well as the legs to further improve the vertical jump. Now, the first time an athlete uses arm loading for vertical jump training, we suggest that you do not use waist loading. Just connect the bands to the hands. Now, the other important thing to note is the bands that you connect to the hands in almost 99% of the cases should always be band set D. That's chords 7 and 8. The thinnest chord on the system, that's the 1/4 inch band. You set it to minimum resistance and you connect it to the hands. Now, once you connected the bands to the hands, the athlete should perform 5 to 10 jumping movements without leaving the mat. You just want to get a feel for what that added resistance is on the arms when you go through the jumping movement. And once you get a feel for that, the athlete can begin working their way off the mat. Again, you should only be using about 50 to 60% effort. You do not want to jump 100% effort the first time you try this. I can assure you every athlete will adapt to this very quickly and within 1 or 2 workouts be able to progress to 100% effort very quickly. We suggest for a minimum of 2 workouts where the athlete performs 4 to 5 sets of 6 repetitions to do this with just arm loading and no waist loading. And once the athlete gets a good feel for how to balance themselves with the arm loading, they can hook up the waist loading. And remember again, we're using band pair B, not A. This is a 5/16 inch diameter band at minimum resistance. You do not want to load up the athlete the first time they try a new configuration in a high resistance level. You want a minimum resistance so the athlete can acclimate as easily as possible. And once again, after about 2 workouts with just the arm loading, you can progress to the waist loading where you can load the legs and arms simultaneously. If you're working with a younger athlete, we don't believe there's a necessity really to utilize arm loading until they're about 14 years old or older. There may be some rare cases where an athlete 13 years old or 12 years old may be a strong enough jumper to use arm loading. But in most cases, we suggest that 14 years old and above is an appropriate age to begin using arm loading.